So when it comes to naming your variables, or whenever we'll go ahead in this course, we are going to have topics like functions. So even in the functions, we need to name our functions. So whenever basically it comes to naming your variables or naming your functions, there are some standard naming conventions that usually programmer follows. So let's quickly discuss about the standard naming convention. So we have already seen what is the naming convention for giving name for a variable. So we know that there are three rules, right? So the first rule is a variable name cannot be a keyword. Then the second rule says that whenever you are creating a variable name, it needs to be either created from small a to small z, capital A to capital Z, 0 to 9 digits and underscore special character. So you can create names based on or from combination of these characters. And the third rule says that variable name should not start with a digit. So these are the three rules. And I will also like to tell you one thing. See, these exact same rules of naming a variable also applies to naming a function. Okay, so whenever we'll go ahead in the functions module, in that also whenever we'll have to name our function, we'll have to use same rules. So we know there are these rules and we can literally give any name to our variable. So let's say you can give name as small a, small z, in between capital A, then small a, then underscore capital B, C and 90. Let's say this is the name. This is absolutely valid name of a variable. Then why we are discussing about this topic, that is standard naming convention. So ideally whenever you write a program, you should follow some standards which are set by some older programmers or some experienced programmers, experienced developers. So whenever you are naming your variables, you should use some standard naming convention, and there are three standard variable or function naming convention that usually we programmer follow. So I have just listed them over here. So the first convention is called as camel case, the second convention is called as Pascal's case, and the third convention is called as snake case. Now these convention comes into the picture whenever you have to attach multiple words together, or whenever your variable name comprises of multiple words, and even you can follow them whenever your variable name only have one word, just has a single word. In that case also you can kind of think about these naming convention. So let's quickly get started with a variable name. So let's say I want to name my variable as, let's say, first var. So this is my variable name. I want to name it as first var. So we know that whenever you want to name your variable name cannot have spaces in between. You need to, kind of combine these two words. So let's see how we can combine these two words in camel case. So in camel case, what you have to do is you have to start your first word in all small cap characters. So the first will be similar to this one, and then whenever you are starting a new word, so the new word's first character needs to be capital. Okay, so in this case my next word is var, so this V, which is the first character of var, needs to be capital. So in this way you will write variable name in camel case. Let's take few more examples. For that, let me just clear out this board from here. Let's say you want to name a variable, let's say is true. So you'll write it as is capital TRUE. Okay, let's say you want to name a variable as, let's say, student name. So you'll write it as student, then N capital. This is camel's case. Whenever you are writing words, the first word's first character or the first word, entire word is going to be lowercase. Then from second word onwards, the first character of the word is going to be capital case. Okay. So let's say you have another variable name, let's say student first name. So how you'll write it? You'll write it as student, all small cap, then first, see this F is going to be capital, then N, name, N is going to be capital. Okay, so these two characters or letters are capital. In this way you will write variable names in camel case. Now this Pascal's case is very similar with camel case. Only difference is that in camel case the entire first word is lowercase, but in Pascal case the first character of your first word is also going to be capital. Okay, so let's try to write the same names in Pascal case as well. So the first var will be written like this. Student first name will be written like this. So you can observe that over here S, F and N are capital. You can observe here F and V are capital. So this is the Pascal case. Now what is the snake case? In snake case, your entire word is going to be in lowercase. But what you have to do is, while attaching the word, you have to use underscores. Okay, so let's try to write the same variable names with the help of snake case naming convention. So the first var will look like this. See, you combine two words with the help of underscore. The student first name will look like this: student underscore first underscore name. So this is called a snake case, and in C++ usually we follow snake case. Okay, C++ programmers follow snake case. So if you see any C++ program, mostly they'll be in snake case, or programmers will follow snake case for their variable naming, for their function naming.